either. So, no idea. I saw some results. He beat some solid players. Things are looking good, but I haven't seen it for myself yet. I'll be the judge of this. MarineLorD was certainly a talented individual back when he was playing full-time. I think he went over to Overwatch temporarily, but now back into StarCraft for... I mean, professionally, like on a team for months at net by now, but I'm guessing he's probably practicing for like a year. I don't know how seriously, though. A return to WCS Europe would be a great start to MarineLorD's comeback. And it's kind of perfectly timed out, too. It's the beginning of the year. It's going to be the first WCS, even if it's not offline. Still, it's good stuff. But can he defeat the enemy that is Protoss? In the bottom right, for Team Blazer, it is SKillous. These waffle and pancake commands, well, they're waffle and pancakes. I don't understand the question. And the top left has the blue Terra, and it is MarineLorD. You'll never know if you don't get it now. You'll never get it. Nah, just my mods made the command. Back when this channel first started, got partnered, I had a poll that asked, did you rather a waffle emote or pancake emote? And pancakes won. And then I think I complained about it because I actually like waffles better. So a mod, probably Diabo, made counters for who prefers waffles and who prefers pancakes. Pancakes still in the lead and it infuriates me. Alright, so we have some interesting stuff going down here. We see a hidden barracks, one base build for MarineLorD, which is totally normal, especially on this map. This is what we usually see on this map in these positions. So of course SKillous scouts it. But SKillous sent out 2 probes. And initially I was thinking maybe he's going to go for the confirmed scout. You know, if you bring 2 probes and they both go both directions, chances are you're going to find exactly what they're building off of those would-be proxies. But no. One scouted and looked for the proxy and it found it. Great. The other one went for a pylon and a proxy gateway, and SKillous is going to try and really punish MarineLorD for this cheeky little opener. MarineLorD not going full bore into the proxies, though, not going for a proxy factory. I mean, he could still go for a proxy starport, but the important thing is that if you want to play any sort of macro game as a Terran player while you're proxying or hiding your one-base tech structures, you need to have a factory back at home. It needs to be there to produce the Cyclone as fast as possible, because it doesn't produce very fast otherwise. You need to wait for a tech lab, pretty long time build time for it as well. So it needs to be back at home defending if you plan on having any sort of longer game. MarineLorD was able to get the scout at least a little bit. Yeah, I saw there was no nexus and just figured by then that there would be something perhaps aggressive. That's not always the case. Sometimes when the Protoss player sees a would-be one-base build, right, they just defend and kind of clam up and turtle up. But maybe he's played SKillous before. Maybe this has happened before. Maybe it's just a good guess. It seemed like he already knew something was on the way before he even scouted it was on the way. And he didn't see the gateway. And that's good, because he really did need to build this bunker. Otherwise, it'd be targeted down consistently. It would never build. And while it might still buy time for the Cyclone also needs support. If it was only the Cyclone against 3 Stalkers, the Cyclone actually dies. But with its high ground advantage, with the Marines helping out in the bunker, it's a totally fine hold. Loses 4 SCVs and a supply depot for it, but not too shabby. So SKillous kind of deflects any damage he could take by trying to do damage. Gave up some of his own potential economic advantages, right, to do so. He didn't lose workers, but he doesn't have 2 nexuses to build workers either, right? Bit of give and take right there, and I'm not sure that 4 SCVs was exactly what SKillous was looking for, considering his late nexus. It's always hard to call, though, because these one-base builds from Terrans never stop. They never are like, okay, that's the end of potential damage. There's the Banshees you have to consider. There's always the 3rd or 4th Banshee that does the damage. There's what's coming out of the factory exactly. Is it more Cyclones? Is it tank push? If it was proxy, there's another question mark as well. Are they doing a one-base build? Are they not? SKillous should be guessing accurately that it is a natural expand soon enough, because not a lot of stuff was proxied. But he doesn't know about the starport. it's a good guess. If he's guessing there's a starport proxy, it's a good one. It does happen a lot, and it is happening here. But he doesn't know because he never got into the main base to get that scout. It could have been back here for all he knew. And he is currently not setting up defenses for it, I don't believe. You have no shield batteries. Oh, we have one shield battery in the main. Okay, so the natural is undefended, and that is where the Banshee's going in first and foremost. Rough start here for SKillous, who is attacking into a high ground command center Terran. If this is on the low ground, there is a strong chance he can do something, but on the high ground, I don't think there is. It's not like he has blink. An observer is available, however, so the Banshees will have to be controlled. They can't just simply let the shield batteries run out of energy. He will come back again later, and since the starport is still producing Banshees, there's a third one. I do believe eventually MarineLorD will find that big opening and get even up to 10 probe kills when all is said and done. He defends the stalker push just by being on the high ground, and with the second tank now out, and a good evaluation with the Marine Scout there of what is about to attack him, which is not a lot. He feels confident enough to take the low ground, turns it into an orbital, and MarineLorD's only down 7 workers, close to 2 mules. That is going to favor him if these Banshees keep the probe count steady, if they keep it under wraps, and not under wraps, that's the wrong phrase, but you know what I mean? Okay, the Banshee barely doesn't die. That one goes away with half its health. Really nice start here. Double Templar Archives. Nope, double Twilight Council. Not a Templar Archives, which I assume would eventually come down, but getting 2 Twilight Councils doesn't actually help you get there any faster. So this is just a straight up mistake. I'm thinking it meant to be a Forge. It's a very different hotkey, but we were in a hurry, and it gets a little weird because it was put down at the same time as the other Twilight Council, or just about. So that's a very big loss, and I don't know if you're really going to try and use it to go for charge and blink at the same time. That's expensive. The Banshees did keep the probes in check. That's what I was trying to go for. Jesus. In check. So now MarineLorD is only down 2 workers with 2 mules and is looking for a very strong push. His Banshee's still alive. Could even be repaired a little bit more. Stalkers don't get the fire. Oh, nice cloak there. Very, very quick reaction. Probably would have been better to try and damage the tank here. They don't even get that one Banshee that they get their full shots on. Oof, not a great start here for the Protoss, who already had a weird game. MarineLorD, simply put, has played it a little bit better. Made the right calls, when to defend, when to attack, when to proxy starport. And it has worked out really well. Now I'm going to build up a wall here of bunkers. Nice little trick with the Immortal and the Warp Prism trying to take out a tank, but it doesn't really work out. 1 bunker killed, 1 canceled, but still, even if the bunkers don't come up here, it is still a very hard army to break, especially without charge lots. And that is coming down later than he would like off of the second Twilight Council. Once again, the Immortal tries to get the target fire, but is that the second Immortal? Oh, it died. Oh. I thought he picked it up, but it died. Oh no. Even if he hadn't died, it would have been able to get like 1 more shot off, and then it would have gone down. This looks like it's game over. Too many bunkers now, too many Banshees. It's kind of insane looking. SKillous is like only down 20 supply, but it's so much more than that. An attempt to get the tanks to focus fire on a couple of odd zealots being warped in, wherever that was, doesn't work out. Warp Prism looks a little silly. Just doing nothing. GG. MarineLorD playing the more Korean style of TVP very well. Very well. Some different choices are made, some different calls are guessed at. You know, he doesn't go to bunker because he doesn't see a nexus. He's in trouble. He goes for a natural command center on the natural. Maybe he gets it canceled. Maybe he can't defend the attack. You know. Could have been different. But let's talk about MarineLorD entirely. SKillous, not a name we're too familiar with. I certainly am. I'm not. He got decently far yesterday. So obviously he's got the skills. Yeah. And he's on a rather good team of Blazer, some strong European players. That specific game showed an interesting, cool way of trying to deal with a proxy Terran one that we might see, for instance, SOS choose. If we were to see the same Terran build order against stats, maybe it's more macro, he sees the natural, and it's about defense, defense, defense. If you face it versus SOS, it's more about trying to punish you for it. That's what SKillous was trying to do. Didn't work out, unfortunately. A lot because of MarineLorD's strong calls and the seconds different scouting. The Reaper or whatever it was that scouted the natural, it doesn't get there that fast. Suddenly the bunker's not done type thing. It could have worked. And behind it, the macro was not bad. Second Twilight Council aside. It just was some unfortunate series of events. And even if you are stats, SOS, trap, deer, whoever you want to name, those tank pushes are very hard to hold. Especially if the Terran player is good enough to both read the game, change up their plans, and still execute it at a really appropriate timing. We're on to Port Alexander. On the top left is the red Protoss. It is SKillous. On the bottom right is the blue Terran. It is MarineLorD. No 2 probes being sent out, no SCV being sent out. But if MarineLorD really does subscribe to Innovation's way of playing this matchup, for instance, then we should see some type of 2-base tank push. Let's see, Port Alexander, Port Alexander. Innovation was preferring the 3-base, the fake third, quote-unquote. He builds it, but he doesn't actually use it that much. Bio push on this map, I believe, more so than any tank pushes. And if MarineLorD does that, then I think we just know he was watching the server qualifiers and watches Innovation stream. That's annoying. Grand scheme of things, losing that SCV doesn't mean too much, but you better believe that it tilts Terran players. At least the barracks was finished in good enough time, like it's super delayed it because MarineLorD was over microing it in a way. Sometimes not microing it is the better way to go about it, because if you try and like get the SCV building off of it to get the extra hit on the probe, but you're building another SCV, bring another SCV forward to let's use the probe to continue building the barracks, but then you accidentally click on it, so it's not building the barracks, and then you kill the probe, and then suddenly your barracks is late. Like, no one wants that to happen. So in some ways, I guess it's better just to lose the SCV straight up. Not that I'm saying MarineLorD would have messed up his micro. He's got pretty good micro. MarineLorD was one of the aggressive Terrans, kind of along the same path of success that Euthermal was on. Had some matchups that he was, you know, worse at than others, had some frustrations that he would voice, certainly, and otherwise would punch above his weight with some cheesy builds, some very, very impressive micro. Him and Euthermal actually had pretty close careers in terms of that, but obviously Euthermal stuck around a little bit longer. I think MarineLorD... Yeah, Euthermal's gone to greater heights than MarineLorD did, but MarineLorD was seriously a strong, strong foreigner Terran that everyone's eyes were on for a while. He was so young, right? There's always that big potential that he could do something great. And unfortunately, we lost him to another game. Temporarily. I think, didn't he go over to Overwatch? As well as Lil Bao? I think so. But if I'm wrong, sorry, but I think that's the case. And now he's back in StarCraft 2 regardless of where he went otherwise. And I think his style of play would still be similar. I think pretty... Oh, did I get that probe? Aha! Got him. I can't think of too many players that have come back from long ways away. Obviously, the Korean players go to Army, but only some of them have returned. But I'm pretty sure if I think of any, all of them have come back with the same style they left with, regardless of if they left in Wings of Liberty, if they left in Heart of the Swarm, if they left when Ultras had, you know, 8 plating. Like, regardless, they still have their styles very similar. You can usually depend on that, as a lot of the time our styles reflect our personalities, and that doesn't change very often. But that's a whole nother topic. An interesting one, but it's a whole nother topic. Wow, guys. You really did it. Chat deserves an award. This is better than when Reddit did it, y'all. You got to 100 waffles and 100 pancakes around the same exact time. I'm so proud of you. There's a little mini game that all you watching on VODs will never be a part of. Good lord. This is a very fast push. As you can see here, there's not a lot of units, but it's hitting before charge. And this is a very fast charge, by the way. Like, SKillous is trying to slam dunk a later tank push by having this fast of charge. And instead, MarineLorD does one of the fastest pushes possible before Cloak is even done for the Banshee, before the Banshee even does any harassment, and is now setting up bunkers to protect him from the would-be charge lot. So SKillous has to wrap around and try and come from another path, but it's not with a ton of units. He's still only working off of 3 gateways. This is such an early attack. It's kind of insane. And SKillous' plan would have done wonders against a later tank push if he had waited for the second tank, for instance. If he had waited to see what was going on with the Banshee, do a little scouting first. This probably is not set up and good to go. This is probably demolished, actually. But as it is, the timing, the bunkers, everything's working out so well. The Zealots are found by the Banshees, which is absolutely perfect. Some of them will go down before they can even help out. +2 armor is not going to be done here. The Stalkers come in once the gateways are dead. High Templar is not going to be helpful at all. And this is game. This is game with a 5-minute tank push. That's crazy. So I mean, funnily enough, MarineLorD has to open up a pathway to continue the push. But this is so much damage taken. SKillous is back down to 3 gateways after he made 2 more. He's now trying to add on 3 more. He's having trouble spending his money. He's having trouble using the army he even has in the front lines. They keep on dying to Banshees. Meanwhile, MarineLorD was temporarily rallying back at home. Now brings it forward. Another tank here is going to help out. Now he'll have, if this works out, if this gets across the map, he'll start to bunker up this area, this choke here. And it'll continue being very complicated for SKillous. I think this is over, guys. MarineLorD has a 3rd CC, has Sim on the way. He's got another bunker. There we go. Banshee still live for some extra DPS. That one barely not going to go down. Even if it did, there's another Banshee here. The tanks are still alive. The bunkers are still alive. This is sad to watch as a Protoss player, I expect. But hey, very good to watch as a Terran player. SKillous' plan to go into the fast charge Archon armor would have done so well against an attack that hit 30 seconds to a minute later. And then maybe he would have even been able to counterattack with an all-in. But it's just not happening here. GG. That's it for SKillous' run. MarineLorD